Good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, morning.
I guess we're just waiting for Dr. Malcolm and other persons.
No, it's the stated 10, it's not 10 as yet. It's what?
Right. We're early.
Yeah,
Our problems. Yes, sir.
well, that's true.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining early. If you can send reminders in any WhatsApp groups you have, I'd appreciate that. And then the ITEL team should be joining us soon.
Good morning. Vita's on.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, good morning. Morning, welcome. I was just thinking we could probably give the others another few minutes to join and then we can begin.
Oh, absolutely. I'm having some challenges. We don't have access to Zoom, so I'm trying to figure out how to log in by my computer.
Okay. Okay, good morning. Could I just get a thumbs up if you're hearing me? All right, wonderful. I see at least 2 thumbs up. Okay, so good morning to everyone who is on the platform. It's the start of another week. And so I know that we're all looking forward to the end of this week when we'll be in celebrations of the Christmas season in full force. Before we do the introductions and all of that, and I hand you over to the ITEL team, we know as a Methodist institution, we begin everything with prayer, right? And so I'm just going to say a quick word of prayer, and then we will kick things off. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for another day of life, which is not guaranteed to any of us. As we come before you as members of the ECC and ITEL team, we just ask that you cover this meeting, that you guide the discussions, that you allow our students to recognize if it is an opportunity that is for them and it is in your purpose, that it should be a part of their lives. We ask that you help them to ask the right questions when it is time so that they will feel comfortable moving forward. Please guide us as we go in our own way for the celebration of the Christmas season and help us to remember the reason for the season, which is your birth. In everything and in your name we pray, amen. All right, so SONA team on the platform, I want to welcome, I know we have students, we have lecturers, we have administrators, and of course we have our guests, members of the ITEL team led by their VP of Employee Experience. I know that's not your full title, Mrs. Samai, or Vida as I call you, but I'll allow you to introduce yourself to the team. On the platform, we have senior students from our School of Nursing and Allied Health. These are year 3 and 4 students. And I basically introduced them to the fact that most recently we started to have discussions with one of your clients, Mia Aesthetics, who is going to be establishing a base in Jamaica. I'm not sure if it's one or multiple, but I know they're looking to establish in Jamaica, and they're also based in several US cities. And they're a well-known, sorry, one second, guys. Well-known cosmetic surgery company that will be setting up here in Jamaica, and they are looking for to employ nursing alumni, right? Alumni of the nursing school to work in their facility, because of course they utilize both clinical and non-clinical staff members. So that was the first round of discussions we have, and it's a wonderful opportunity for you once you've completed the program, and hopefully their negotiations would have been finished by that point. I was just listening to a recording or video this morning. I don't know if you received it in any of your WhatsApp groups, where it's, you know, a nurse in the US was saying that apparently a high percentage of the nursing students in Florida, the state of Florida, have failed the NCLEX exams. And so, you know, they've noticed that there is a downward trend in terms of students being able to transition as nursing students into the nursing profession. And so that has their issues there in terms of employability, people coming out of the field or out of studies and into the field. And we know in Jamaica that many of our nurses and the nursing students have migrated. Here at ECC, we believe in opening opportunities for you. So we know that, of course, we're preparing you for the local workforce, but in everything, you're being prepared for the international workforce as well. So from the Mia Aesthetics discussions, they guided us to a meeting with ITEL. And this meeting, ITEL is going to explain their relationship with Mia better than I could, but essentially they're handling some of the patient care discussions prior to the patients or prospective patients moving in to do their procedure with Mia Aesthetics. And so some opportunities have opened up for you as senior nursing students to gain some part-time employment hours with ITEL, right? So that being my little synopsis, we've opened a platform here for them to explain to you who they are, explain to you what the opportunity may be in terms of employment opportunities, and then you can ask your questions and you can determine next steps for yourselves in terms of what you may want to do. So I'm going to just hand over now to Vida, Mrs. Samai, and she can take it from here. She and her team can take it from here. All right, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sari. I appreciate it. And good morning to everyone. Thank you for taking the time out today to spend some time listening to what the opportunities are and potentially, become one of us here at ITEL. So my name is Vida Samai. I am the Chief Experience Officer here at ITEL. My portfolio captures everything that's people and experience related. So from your recruiting, HR, training, quality, operational excellence, project management, and environmental health and safety, all of those are under my portfolio globally for all of our locations. So today we're in 7 locations. Today I want to talk a little bit about, some of you may or may not know who ITEL is. So I just want to talk a little bit about ITEL, share what the culture looks like, and then go into the opportunity with the Mia Aesthetics group. So let me just share my screen. Just one moment. And if I could just get a thumbs up once you can see my screen, that will be great. All right, I actually cannot see if anyone gives me a thumbs up. Can someone just unmute and let me know if you can? Okay, great. So a little bit about ITEL. We are a small Caribbean company. Well, I shouldn't say small. It is the largest Caribbean-born BPO company. Today, we handle most of our businesses are U.S. businesses, and we do have one client from the UK and one local client. A little bit about where we are located. So if you look on the screen, we are in Jamaica. We're in Montego Bay and Kingston. We have 2 sites in Kingston. One in Montego Bay, we have St. Lucia, Honduras, Guyana, Belize, Colombia, and we also have work from home in the US. So we do have quite a bit of geodiversity supporting all of our clients and ensure that there is business continuity in the event that one site goes down, maybe due to natural disasters or anything from civil unrest to high absenteeism, whatever that looks like. What you're looking at on our screen is our leadership team today for all of the various areas. So everyone here, we have Melissa, our Chief Marketing Officer. She is Jamaican. Vinay, our CFO, he is Indian but lives in the US. Yanni Epstein, 100% Jamaican. Scott Sullivan is a Canadian but lives in the US and is now moving to Jamaica permanently. Myself, Vida Samai, I'm actually Guyanese, but I've lived here in Jamaica for the last 15 years. And Dwayne Williams, our Chief Technology Officer, who is Jamaican. So across the board, we have everyone here has had in excess of 10 years of experience in the BPO space, and all have spent time in the various countries in which we operate today. So from understanding the people, understanding the business, the practices throughout all of our location, each person is able to positively contribute to that. A big part, and I want to talk a little bit about culture, and I think when we had initial meetings with ECC, one of the things that we realized is that our culture, our values closely align with each other. Some of the key areas for us is to ensure that there is purpose. Purpose, not just simply from a workplace standpoint, but also giving back to the communities, providing employment, supporting through our 4Ys Foundation, providing support for the environment, for sports, education, innovation, and anything that positively contributes to our society at large. As a company, we offer an open door policy, meaning that everyone has a voice. You have an idea, you want to share something with management. The management team is always available. Your team leaders are always available. There is, when it comes to our environment, we ensure it's inclusive. There is diversity, ensure that there is clarity as to role, and very importantly, having an environment that's conducive to learning, growth, development, and also a place where you want to be. When we talk about growth, here at ITEL, and I can share my story, 15 years ago, I started in the BPO industry as an agent and worked my way through every role to the top. I think this is probably where I'm gonna max my limits out. But it is a company, it is an industry that offers growth throughout many areas, whether that is HR, recruiting, operations, workforce management, you name it, environmental health and safety. There is something that you can grow in through a career path. And as we speak about inclusivity, this is showing, how diverse we are, how much we all can contribute to the bigger picture of our company. Now let's talk a little bit more about ITEL and how our operations are. On the slide, these are just, this in the last 2 minutes, I quickly got a few pictures. This is the site that the MIA Aesthetics Group is actually based out of. This is our location at 22 Chalmers. So the bottom left is our cafeteria area. The bottom right is our lobby area. And the two above is our chill area, where you're able to, during your breaks, or before, after your shift, you're able to hang out with your team members, have a meeting with your supervisor, somewhere that's away from a desk, somewhere that does much more, you can have a free conversation. There are recreational activities. We do have a gym on site, so you can utilize the gym. We do have nurses and doctors on site. We typically offer business days and all of those things that happen on site. Now, talking a little bit about our engagement piece of it. I just kind of talked a little bit about a gym and a little bit about the nurses, but a big piece of who we are is to ensure that our employee has a holistic experience here at ITEL, not just, logging your time, taking your calls, managing your productivity, doing whether it's back-end transaction, whatever that might look like. We also look at a few different areas. Employee health and wellness. From the health and safety group to the HR group and across our organization, we ensure whether that is the gym, whether that is the nurses, various business days that support health. We are there for our employees, including seminar, conferences, and so on. But wellness doesn't just look at your health. It also focuses on whether that is your mental well-being, whether that is your financial well-being, whatever that looks like, to ensure that you have all that you need to be the best version of you. We provide that, including learning and training to your next path, to your next career path. When we look at compensation and recognition, we're very competitive. We typically do a survey across the board to understand what are the areas we need to adjust from a comp and benefit standpoint. So from a pay structure, we continue to stay competitive. Recognition is key. We do activities that recognize our top performers, whether it's employee of the month, and there are different areas, whether it's for your quality or attendance, whatever that looks like. Areas of opportunities are addressed and support is provided so that you can advance in your career if you wish here at ITEL. Employee development. most folks who start with us at an agent level. And to get them to that next level, or to ensure we build a bench of the next set of leadership, we ensure that we provide developmental programs for supervisors, management mental programs, or emerging leadership programs. And then as opportunities become available, you are able to work your way to that. Social activism. ITEL is very big on giving back to the community. Almost every month we have activities globally that supports the communities in which we are located. Our Four Wise charities, for the holidays, we have giveaways. We're actually doing a dry food and toys drive for a children's home. We also take part in other events such as social events, runs, walk for a cause, anything that will support um, the wider community. Fun activities. We can be all work and all the great things, but we always ensure we strike that balance with the fun activities. So there is a dedicated engagement team in each site to ensure we're planning activities that will boost morale, that will support the employees and the things that they like, whether that is theme days, that is sports activity for World Cup, or Christmas inspired activities. Right now, we have 12 days of Christmas of giveaways each day for various stuff. So these are just a few of the areas, but we continue to develop on those to ensure that our employees, we do invest in their employees, providing purpose-built spaces to ensure that not just are they, at work all the time, but you have a moment to take a minute, take a breather, relax in an environment that feels very differently. I do know some of the folks from the management team there did walk the building, and I'll allow them also later to share their experiences. Now this is more operationally driven. Kind of just wanted to have an idea, what does it look like when you actually get employed? What are the things that are there? So once you have completed your training and you are out in on the job training, we ensure we provide the support for you through training, on the job training, and then when you get into your production state. So you have the trainers, you have facilitators that will help you through. You get onto your on-the-job training. That's when you actually start handling transaction, but to a lesser extent compared to if you were full-time into production. And you have SMEs that would support you throughout the way. A few things that happen. Each employee has the ability to do e-learning pathways that will help develop some of the skill sets that you may need, whether that is from a client standpoint or from a soft skills, communication, team management, whatever that looks like. A lot of the work that is being done to analyze the performance and productivity is around the Six Sigma methodology to ensure that we manage appropriately to identify any form of root cause challenges. How do we build strategies to remediate that, and any form of remediation plan we will put in place to support you. We have our iForms platform, which looks at coaching and performance management. So every day you're able to see what your performance look like. All of your coaching sessions are logged in there. So if there is something that you're missing, you can always quickly go back. And very importantly, there are micro learning that's in there, meaning bite-sized pieces of learning that, whether it's client-based or soft skills-based, how to de-escalate a call, how to manage an IRA customer, whatever that looks like, or to cross-sell, all of those you are going to be able to find. And those may be whether in form of videos, audio, or a readable material. In addition to that, there is a lot of tracking of performance, of productivity, to ensure that we provide you the right support you need to be excelling at what you do. So whether that is your day-to-day key performance indicator, any form of reporting that we need to support what that root cause analysis is, to build you the right action plan to help you to get you to where you need to be, and driving, like I mentioned earlier, the micro learning that's needed. all of that will be in place to ensure you have the support that you need. When we look at learning, learning is not always just about here's a presentation and I'm going to just go at it all the time. Learning at ITEL is a little different. We look at not just classroom learning, but we look at things like I mentioned earlier, micro-learning. In the training environment, the micro-learning is an assessment is done to ensure that we understand what your learning style is, and your learning is built on that. You'll see a lot of reporting to your far right-hand corner. We track the type of learner you are and build a training plan appropriately from the ITEL learning content. Some of the content from the client may be 100% PowerPoint, but then we're able to incorporate some of that content into things like gamification, where learning becomes fun, where learning takes you different ways based on how your learning style or learning habits are. So there is a lot that is designed specifically for you. Some persons may have more threaded learning, some may have more guided learning. So it all depends on what that looks like for the individual. So I'm going to stop sharing here for a minute. I'm going to go into talking a little bit about Mia, and then I want to pause so that I can take some questions. So Mia Aesthetics is one of our clients here at ITEL. Today we have 30 plus of the largest names you would find in the US, one out of the UK and a local company here in Jamaica. Mia Aesthetics is all about that positive body image, self-confidence, anything around cosmetic surgery that will cater to any individual needs. So part of it, for one, Mia Aesthetics hires only women because of the sensitive nature of the content that's displayed. Two, they are located across multiple states in the US. They have decided to outsource their customer service, and after meeting us at ITEL, they've decided to add their sales, also their concierge service. Because of the impact and the way we have delivered, they've decided to expand that into their more nurses, labs, back-end services here with us. So today, when we talk about customer service, it's for those folks who are calling in. I want to check on my appointment. How are my medical? What is happening? Am I ready? Is my doctor? I have a question about payment, whatever that looks like. Our sales teams are the ones who have those leads. We don't cold call everybody. Basically drops from the website. I would like to find out more about this, or I would like to get set up for an appointment, and they're the ones who actually close those deals. Concierge, these are the folks who have completed the surgery, and we're doing follow-ups to ensure that they're okay, if there's anything that needs to be done for an existing customer. And now with our back-end labs process, and what we're looking for is folks to review labs, ensure that everything is okay, approve that, and send that in a queue to the next department so that they can manage it. From a training and so the labs piece is what we're looking for, to hire anywhere from 20 to 40 headcounts, which, whether that's part-time or full-time, to eventually add up to 20 full-timers. I do understand that this is more so part-time for most folks on the phone. Mia operates Monday through Saturday. And their hours of operation, I believe, goes up to 11. But again, you're able to work based on your availability. Let me see, what else am I missing from there? From a training standpoint, there's 10 days of training. And that includes the ITEL soft skills training, and culture training. Also, that includes the MIA content training, and then you have 2 days of labs training of how to review labs, how do you approve it, utilizing the systems and so on. So just about 12 days of training. We do understand most folks are part-time, so maybe potentially that can be broken up into smaller pieces, and maybe instead of 12 days, it's 15 days or 18 days, whatever that looks like. From a, let me see what else. I'm trying to figure out what else I missed. From an employment standpoint, to the account, every person is required to do a background check to be part of this, and you must pass. There are some assessments that are being done, and they're more so situational assessments, the type of customer service you will provide to a customer, and those are done, and there might be a typing test, and then the general aptitude test, of course, for hire. We would work with myself, and Dr. Malcolm would work with the MIA team to identify what the schedules are available, and you can fill in those schedules based on your available time. So maybe you're available from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, or maybe you're available from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., 4 days a week. Whatever that look like, we will work with you to build your schedules. Schedules are published a week in advance. Of course, we're going to try to maintain steady state scheduling so that you know what exactly you're planning for. Ultimately, if this is an opportunity you want to be part of, we will fine-tune all of the higher details closer to that time. 2 additional things I wanted to share. One I forgot earlier. From a benefit standpoint, if you do make or exceed the 33 hours per week, it puts you into a permanent hire state, meaning you're a permanent employee. So then you can enjoy the benefits of health coverage. In the event you fall below that number of hours, 32, 33, I'm not sure, whatever that mark is, below that, then you do not qualify for the benefits like vacation and health coverage. However, what we do have that is eligible to all employees are things like our gyms and our spaces, transportation, which is a big one. We provide transportation to our site and from our site. We do have a bus schedule, and then you can work to fit yourself within that bus schedule based on your shifts. I'm sure there's a whole lot more I can tell you, but I'm going to go ahead and open up for question. One last thing. MIA Aesthetics has committed to partnering with us to understand what it takes to potentially have international exposure also. So that is something they are exploring at the moment for the ability to work in the US. We don't have the final details in that. That's actually going to be handled by MIA Aesthetics. But while you are doing work for MIA Aesthetics here in Jamaica, you will be employed to ITEL because we are the client that supports them. So I'm going to pause here, and if you could raise your hand for any questions and unmute and go ahead. I know that was a lot, so I'm going to open for questions.
I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand, not following instructions, but I was just wondering if you could probably outline for them exactly why senior nursing students are required for this job and just not anybody else. What does their experience bring to the job that you wouldn't be able to give to any of your other employees? Why you've targeted them specifically?
Sure, thank you. So part of this new role, these are more medical related roles that review all labs, which requires medical lingo, medical understanding of it to ensure that my BMI is correct, to ensure that when I review all of the tests that are done, physically, I am in a condition to go into surgery. And so as a result, we cannot use non-medical students. Students who have completed their areas with labs, which is very important. I believe that's the 3rd year and 4th year. That is key that we have those folks. And while you may not have completed your final certification, we will work with you once you have completed that area of your medical field. From a compensation standpoint, we typically do base, and depending on each program, there may or may not be an incentive. Today, I'm trying to remember what the compensation for this account is, but while in training, we do $400 per hour. Despite you're not producing at this time, training is paid. Most of our groups, and I'm pretty sure Mia falls right there. Andrea, if you can check for me, please, I would appreciate that. But I believe Mia does $450 an hour. And Andrea, our HR director, she's just going to check and let me know, confirm that piece of it. So you'll have your hourly pay, you'll have transportation. If you're a full-time person, you have healthcare, also all of the other things that are on site.
Right, and hi everyone. Thank you, Vida. Just wanted to confirm that yes, the base is $450 per hour.
Okay, is there any incentive attached for Mia? I wasn't sure.
Not at this time.
Okay. Thanks, Andrea.
You're welcome.
All right, ECC team, any questions, concerns, comments?
Hello, Vida.
Hi,
This is
Dwayne.
Dwayne. Hey, how are you doing? I just wanted to make a comment here that, you know, it is a great opportunity for our alumni to be working with an international organization, which will add credibility, which would add visibility, which would add employability to our nursing graduates as well, especially if you're considering, you know, leaving our shores to other countries, that you have worked with international companies and persons from diverse cultures. So this is something that our alumni, our students must consider and should consider if they're thinking about becoming, you know, real, truly global citizens out there. So it is a real opportunity. And if you do have the time, consider this, because I think personally, ITEL is a great company. And as Vida said, and our vice principal said, we have a very, you know, mirroring principles, philosophies. And so I want to encourage our students to really consider this opportunity. It is truly a great opportunity.
And while the students think of other questions they may have, I just wanted to say that think about it from the perspective of, if this company you're working for Mia Aesthetics already through ITEL, and you know, as a senior student, and Mia, for all intents and purposes, will be set up in Jamaica shortly and also recruiting for positions, you know, in Florida and other states, then having somebody who is already familiar with the company, has been working with the company, you know, when you graduate, you know, having had the experience of working with them already, it would give you a foot in terms of the recruitment process, you know, because they would know you're already familiar with how they do things, you know, the operational standpoint from this end of things. And so, you know, it would be that additional advantage then that you're having over someone who would be coming in fresh, you know, when you graduate. So think about that as well, as you consider the opportunity for yourself. I think I saw Tanisha's hand go up, and then Mr. Daly.
Go ahead, Tanisha.
Good morning. I am not sure if it was mentioned earlier because I was having a little internet challenge. I heard it was mentioned that there will be 10 days of training. I'm not sure if the specified time was mentioned. Just want to find out.
So for training, it's 10 days of product training and 2 days of labs and systems. So it's 12 days in total. Because we understand this is a part-time role, we would be designing the training in such a way that it caters to when, so for example, let's say 20 folks sign up and the available time is 8 to 10 p.m. and maybe on Saturdays we can do 9 to 6, whatever that look like. We will build the program specifically that way. So it's about 12 days of training, but we will have to expand that probably all the way out to 18 days of training to and cater it in bite-sized pieces. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. And training is paid for. And transportation is provided to central areas.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Right. So I'm just zeroing in on what you had said regarding Mia and the possibilities of students or employees of ITEL transitioning into an opportunity in the United States as well. I just want to say that there is a strong possibility for this as well, because there exists an H-1B visa. So I'm not going to say much about that, but just to let the students know that, you know, international organizations from time to time will probably, you know, seek opportunities to have people come from other countries to work in their organizations through these kinds of visas. So, you know, that is information that I just wanted to put out there for our students as well. Vida.
Correct. And Mia is in the process of understanding what does it mean to have, you know, what's the process for the visa, and they're trying to see, can they partner to try to expedite that if that is an opportunity. So they are already starting to see what, checking into that.
I see we have a question from Julianne.
Sorry, before I move on to Jodianne, someone asked if training will be face-to-face for this program, because it has to be HIPAA compliant. All work has to be done in office. This does not have an work at home option, because you're handling sensitive, whether it's images or medicals, as you know, in the medical field, you have to ensure that it is kept in a controlled environment. So everything is face-to-face for this group. Our ITEL culture training or customer service training can be done work at home on devices of your own, but anything for the client has to be done in office. All right, Jodianne, go ahead.
Hi, good morning. I'm not sure if it was said before, but can hours be clocked on the weekend? And if so, what's the maximum per day?
Sorry, repeat the question for me.
Okay, I was asking if hours can be clocked on the weekend. I know you said that the hours could be flexible, but what's the maximum amount of hours that can be clocked per day? And
I see.
If it is done on the weekend.
Yes, so Mia works Monday through Saturday, and let's say you're able to do 2 or 3 hours Monday through Friday, but on Saturday, because you're now available, you decide, well, I want to work from 9 until 7 or whatever that looks like. Typically, we cap it at 12 hours because the reason for it is work-life balance. Now, given that you have done probably 2 hours per week, we can look at if there is an exception to maybe, we do have employees who may work 14 hours on a day because they probably just do 2 or 3 hours throughout a week. But we typically cap it at 12 as the max because we do want to ensure the quality of life for all of our employees are catered to. And it's not simply just getting in as much work as possible, but that the health and the wellness of the employee is there.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone's pretty quiet. Did I scare you guys, or are there no, or was I very, very clear and there are no questions? Okay,
I have
see
another
Shirley.
question from Shirley. Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, good morning. All right, I know that you mentioned that per hour will be paid $400 to $450. Just to clarify, is that local or international? I know it's per hour, and per hour, to say 400 US, that would be, but I'm just clarifying for all of us.
Yes, it's 400 Jamaican dollars per hour in training and 450 Jamaican dollars per hour after training when you are now in your production phase. And also for this program, I believe it's the first 2 weeks that you actually take calls to understand the customers. But after that, or 5 days, it could be 5 days or 10 days, I'm not sure. But after that, all you do is back end work. All you do is labs after that. So you are assigned X amount of labs through your queue, and you have 24 hours in which that needs to be completed. And in the event, let's say you probably did 2 hours versus 3 hours, your supervisor will need to reallocate that to the next person. So it's understanding the product, understand the type of clients that are coming in, and then ultimately you then take over everything on the back end. So you'll be handling more so concierge service, not the regular customer service, and understanding what that process, how each department works. And then you get into all back end labs checking only after.
There's a question in the chat.
Oh, sorry. All right, let's see. Do you allow students to work in the evenings? How many hours determine part-time work? So yes, we allow, more than likely this program is for the students at the school, especially while they're after school, is when you're going to be scheduled to work, and we will work together. Each student and the training and recruiting team will work together in generating what your schedule looks like based on your ability. How many hours determine part-time? That is by the labor law of Jamaica, and I believe that is 33 hours. Andrea, is that correct, or 32?
Right, so it's anything below 32 hours per week.
Okay.
So below 32, but not less than 18 hours. So 18 to 32 hours, part-time hours.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Ryan, do you have a question?
Yes, I do have. Good morning. I do have a question, Mr. Mai. I was going to raise my hand before previously, but my question is that nursing curriculum is a strict curriculum, right? But as soon as school assumes, like as soon as the academic studies have been on pause, we can assume a normal what you call that normal work hours. Right, thank you.
Yes, the answer is yes. So let's say you're on pause for the Christmas break or Easter break or summer break. Yes, you can. What we'll do is work with you. You provide your schedule, and we'll need that 2 weeks in advance to build that out. I think that's the only ask, is that we have that 2 weeks in advance, 10 business days out, to say, okay, I will now have available from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if there's any availability to do overtime, I'm also available. We will take that into consideration. Some days are busier than others. So like your Monday Tuesday, Fridays might be busy, but the other days may not be. And then we may say, okay, you may be able to work overtime on Monday, but not on Wednesday and Thursday. And you can do 9 to 6, or we have maybe 10 to 5, whatever is available, so you can maximize your hours. So yes. Does that answer your question, Ryan?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I have one more question also. Just a second.
While we wait for Ryan, we could take the question from Jodianne.
Sure. Go ahead, Jodianne, and then I'll take Tanisha's question in the chat. Go ahead, Jodianne.
Okay, thank you. How would we, you might have it in mind to say after the question and answer period, but just make sure that this is answered. How do we move forward, or how would you move forward with us if we're serious in applying? What's the processing time, and would it be possible for training to be done by mid-January?
So the client is asking us to provide 20 full-timers or 40 part-timers by the 3rd week in January. So the aim is, if we do have, and after today's call, Dr. Malcolm is going to help with a survey to identify how many folks are interested. And based on that, we will have someone actually stationed on site so that you can sign up, complete all the things that you need to. The one thing, we'll do your background checks also. We'll provide you with a receipt so that you can go and get your background checks done. We'll pay for that. And then any form of assessment will be sent to you so that you click on the link and you're able to do so. And then the recruiting team will reach out to say, well, you have passed. We will extend an offer, which is contingent on your background check. And once that comes back, we typically expedite that so that you can start on time for your training. We will have multiple training classes. So for example, if your background check doesn't come in time for the first batch, you'll be in the second batch of training.
Thank you for that answer.
Okay. Tanisha asked, I know it was mentioned that we can work until 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday. What time does work begin? I believe for MIA, they start at 9 a.m. Yeah, either 9 or 10, and they go until 11. And okay, Ryan was asking, his question was, when will the program commence? The client is hoping to start that in January, but that all depends on how quickly we can deploy this by having the right number of headcount to start that training. You're welcome, Ryan. All right, guys, anything else that I can provide a response to? All right, go ahead, Sherilyn.
Okay, good morning again. I know you've sent out an invitation based on the email listing I saw. All persons are not here today, but providing that they were not in attendance today, they can still proceed if they have interest when the information is extended. Is that possible?
Yes.
Okay,
so
great.
I didn't have any control over the invitee list, but if there's anything else that's needed from us to provide information-wise, we can, but feel free to share that information. Once we get the results of the survey of how many people are interested, we will have someone come to the site, to the campus, probably a couple days, and then they are going to be able to provide more information. They're going to be able to do all the signups and everything on site. But we need to ensure they get captured in the survey so we know that we can have 20 people or 30 people or 15 people that want to sign up.
And just to say, what I will do is to upload the video or recording to the ECC YouTube, well, my page, and it will only be accessible to you from your ECC email. So those who are interested, I will provide the links to your coordinators and they can share it with you. So you can, the persons who were not able to attend can go and listen and then decide if they want to participate or indicate their interest rather.
Thanks, Saria. I have Tanisha as, I know the rate is 400 in training and after training is 450. How many hours can you be classified as overtime and what is the rate? So per Jamaica labor law, overtime is 1.5 times your rate, and anything over 40 hours per week is catered to as overtime. So for the first week you work, let's say 45 hours, 5 hours is overtime. And the next week you work 30 hours, well, that's just 30 hours of regular time. So week 1, your 5 hours is what's going to be calculated at time and a half per the labor law of Jamaica. All right. Is there a specific dress code to come into the office for work? Wouldn't it be inappropriate to turn up in the school uniform if you leave directly from school? We have lots of nurses that actually do part-time here and they're in their nursing outfit. We have folks from other professions that are coming from school that are working part-time. So you can show up to school in the, to the office in your nurse's outfit. That's not an issue. If you're dressing outside of your uniform, of course, the typical work attire is required. Can you please list the documents needed to start up employment process for this program? So you need your TRN, you need some form of ID, ultimately your CV, any form of, what is it? For most of you who are still in school, would probably require a letter of the programs you are and where you are in the process. Also a background check, which has to be done for this. And of course, you will be sent the links for the various assessments that you need to take part. Is the rate taxable? Yes. In Jamaica, you have to pay taxes on every dollar earned. Cheryl, did that answer it? I'm not sure what the second line was asking, but every dollar you earn in Jamaica, it is taxable within your tax bracket.
Yes, you did answer my question. The other part was just to clarify the first statement, but it's okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, great. What other questions do you have, team, that I can answer?
I know beyond,
I
know below a certain
maxed out on the question. Oh.
I was saying, I know below a certain amount, sometimes from a HR perspective, there is a tax, like if it's below a certain amount, then it's non-taxable sometimes. I don't know if ITEL does that, but I know sometimes depending on what the amount is, the tax is not applied. So I don't know if your HR can give some clarity on that, if that is something through ITEL or regardless of the amount it's taxed for you.
Sure, I'd be more than happy to.
I know there is a tax threshold that is managed to, so whatever is, yes.
Oh, I was gonna take that, Vida. Hello.
Andrea, you're breaking up. I don't know if it's me or something.
I'm not sure.
I'm hearing you clearly.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. So I think that current threshold is 1.5. So anything below that, and it's not a company practice. It is something that's mandated by the government of Jamaica. So of course, every company has to abide by that. So once it is that your earnings are below that threshold, then of course it will be exempted from PAYE. Did that answer your question?
Yes, I think it answered the question. Charlene, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Thank you so much.
So Andrea, just to confirm, you're exempted from PAYE, but for the other deductions, those are still there, like NIS, housing, education, and so on?
Yeah, yes.
I see we have another question from Jermaine.
Thank you.
Jermaine, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Morning.
Jermaine.
Good morning. I'm not certain if earlier on within the presentation you spoke about the choice of females being employees. Was that so? Because it's a sensitive nature. I remember you saying that about the sensitive nature.
Yes, this because there's a lot of.
So that is correct.
That is correct, Jermaine.
So on the note
That
of
is correct.
myself
Only
and others-
females are employed.
So on the note of say what, three or two of us inside this group, there are no such opportunities for us as males for this opportunity, right? As being males inside the group and have interest?
So I would actually take that back to the client because part of it.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. Maybe it's my end that the internet is really bad. Yeah,
Maybe
can you
if
hear
you
me?
turn off your video, it might help, Vida. Sometimes that helps.
Jeremy. Okay. Okay. Tell me, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're good.
Uh-oh. Sorry, Zaria, can you hear me now?
I'm here.
Yes, we're hearing you.
Oh, you're hearing? Okay, yes. Okay, so Jermaine, what I will do, I'll take it back, given that this is so for the back end piece of it, you wouldn't be able to take like the calls because on the system has sensitive images, but let me ask in the event that, given that this is back end and more so labs related, where you're just simply reviewing and queuing it up for the next department, reviewing, approving, and queuing it. Let me get back and provide a response if they are willing to do so. And I'll get that back to Dr. Malcolm and so that she can provide that response, okay?
Okay, thank you, Miss. Second question. As it relates to the job description, I get the understanding that you'll be taking calls on clients of such, but I would maybe want, for instance, a scenario to have an understanding and an idea of what exactly our tasking would actually include or involves.
Yes, so for the calls, males wouldn't be able to take any calls because on the system. Can you hear me?
I understand the gender. I understand the gender aspect of it, but I'm wanting to understand and appreciate what my job description would be when a client calls in and what is my duty towards them.
Okay, so this campaign is not for taking calls. The calls taking is just a part of the induction into the program. This campaign would only focus on reviewing of lab work.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Does that answer it?
Yes, it does. It does. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I see. Oh, okay. Yes. So I will follow up on that and then provide feedback as to how that impacts males versus females. Sherilyn, I see your hand is up.
Okay, Mrs. Walker might be able to support me on this. I know if you're not previously, but currently employed with the government, but you're studying and you have to pay tax, right? With regards to this program, you know, when you're paying tax on one side, meaning with another company, and you pay tax with another in terms of income, not income tax, NIS and all of those taxes, you know, that would be a conflict of interest in terms of paying two separate companies. So how do we treat with that?
Well, the taxes, I'll take this one, Vida, if you don't mind. Sorry.
And
hello?
Go ahead, Andrea.
Okay, right. So usually if someone
Go ahead,
is
Andrea. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Can everyone hear me? I think Vida probably having a little bit of an issue. I don't know if it's the same
We're
for
hearing
everyone.
you. I think she
You're
has a
hearing.
delay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. So usually in situations such as these or payroll department, they may require additional documents from you just so that they can analyze what your earnings are, what the taxes are, so that they can do the appropriate calculations.
Okay, thank you for that information.
Sure.
All right, so let me see. All right, no more questions in the chat. Anyone else?
And
right,
I was just
so,
thinking, Vida, that I know you have a delay. You hearing me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So given that you have a pretty short turnaround time in terms of training and when the client wants you to start third week of January, I guess you'll take that into consideration in determining the date for them to come and submit their papers. You know, whether it is where on main campus, you know, that sort of thing. Because of course we know we have the Christmas days to consider. So you can probably keep that in mind, and then we will communicate that to them so that they can come and submit their documents for consideration.
Correct. Yes, so what I think I would, if possible, as a next step, if we can do a survey, probably give another day or two so others can listen to the recording or folks can think about it. And if we can identify, we have, let's say 25 folks, and I know I'll be sending 2 or 3 folks probably after the Christmas holiday, and then maybe a day into the new year. And to wrap up all of those pieces, some of it will be done electronically, others will be done in person, so I can have someone there. And I know Nick Kay, my recruiting manager, is going to be working with your person that's supporting the recruiting efforts. So I know they've been in communication. So do we work through that point of contact, or do I come back to you? Sorry, I wasn't sure. Sorry, you're on mute, if you can hear me.
Yes, I heard you, Vida. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Oh, and someone has asked, okay, the location. Okay, yeah, the location is 22 Chalmers, just off of Alliance Road, yes. So it's 22 Chalmers Avenue is the location. And it takes you outside of the New Kingston traffic. All right, guys, if there are no other questions, I just want to say thank you for the time. I'm really looking forward to this being a really good partnership, not just on the lab side, but I also want to let you know that there are other opportunities, maybe if other accounts, not necessarily the medical folks, but there are other opportunities. And if they do part-time and you're interested, then of course, through our partnership, we would be able to provide feedback whether we can support this. Okay, Jodian is asking, do these documents have to be photocopied prior to submission date? Do they need to be witnessed or have the accompanied originals? Andrea, correct me if I'm wrong, the originals are needed. And do we copy them or do the candidates bring the copies, Andrea?
Yes, the originals are needed and we do copy them on site. I mean, if they have copies, that's great, but we can facilitate the copying on site.
And we do not need them witnessed since we're looking at the original, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is there another question? I heard someone a minute ago. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Zaria, thank you. I appreciate the time and the team's time in talking about ITEL, and we're really privileged to, you know, be part of your hopefully upcoming team, your extended team.
You're very welcome, Vida and team, and we look forward to the next steps. It sounds as if there is quite a bit of interest. And so I will follow up with posting or sending the link for the recording. And then the students can look out for follow-up emails, particularly perhaps from our career placement office in terms of some assistance that could be offered there as well. All right, so just pay attention. I know you're on break, but just pay attention to your emails for any follow-up messages that may come to you. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time and joining us and asking such insightful questions. And have a wonderful Christmas break. All right, I'm going to end the meeting now, if that's okay with everyone.
Miss Dr. Malcolm. Dr. Malcolm?
Yes, Mr. Pierce.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here. In terms of, I suspect there are students that are queued up and ready. And you're saying to deal with collection of the documents. Do they go to Chalmers or you would want them to come?
I think Vida mentioned they would send 2 people to ECC, right? So perhaps we could use the boardroom for that purpose.
Could we, I think it would be good for us to even to suggest a date now, considering the timeline, so that things can move.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say if it's going to be
mid-January,
within December,
yes,
then it has to be by the 22nd. And if it's going to be in January, it has to be from the January 3rd onwards.
All right. So I think January 4th would be good for them to fix up anything they need and collect. I think January 4th. So the Vida would come to Exed or they go to Chalmers.
No, I'll have folks, if you have a placement center or if you have a conference room, I'll have folks there and they'll set up, but they'll probably just need Wi-Fi access, set up and have everything ready to go.
All right, that can be done. I think the students, all right, that can be arranged. The students need to send to us their interest. So I'm putting my email in the chat so the students can quickly send to me and that I can have everything else arranged for you.
All right, and also I think part of maybe us kind of there's some parts we can start, like the screening portions and the assessment portions. If you're able to provide me a listing of all names, telephone numbers, and email addresses, I can then send the maybe like a link so they can complete some of the assessments. So when it's time for the recruiter to be there, they're not going through the full process, because then we would have known, well, Andrea has made it through or VIDA has not, has not made it through, and we're able to quickly identify what that
So
looks like.
that's on the 3rd of January. So maybe you would want that by the by when of December.
But 28 is fine. We can use 28, 29, 30th to send you back comments per candidate, and then you'll know who are the ones need to bring in their documentation. They can have some of the screening done ahead of time.
Okay, students on the link, so you are to send me your resumes by the 23rd, Friday the 23rd. You're saying that you need a status letter as well, them being students at the, so,
correct.
Okay, all right, well, that can be prepared, ordered. But by the 23rd, all students need to send to me your resume at least, okay?
And I think she said name, email, and cell number, correct?
Oh, right. That makes sure that that's in the resume.
In the CV, right.
So if you can do an Excel sheet of it, kind of like a candidate sheet, name, telephone number, email, and maybe the availability. For example, if the recruiter would like to call to do any on phone, maybe because they do voice simulation also, as an assessment or some form of typing test, whatever that looks like, I don't know. They may say, what time are you available, maybe for them to do any additional screening with the candidate. So they can make a note of the time and the dates that they are available. And we're okay to work after hours. So don't think, oh my God, I have to use my lunch break, or at 1 p.m. I have to sneak out of class. If you are available at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., my team works until 10. So just, we will partner with you appropriately.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you. So we will talk more. Students, just follow the instructions. For those who will be getting the recording, the CV should be sent to nigel.peart@ecc.edu.jm. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Ending the meeting now.
Thank you.
Bye.